Welcome. Is this thing working? How are you tonight?
I'm great. How's it going?
Oh, man. I am glad to be here with everybody today. Has it been wild out there?
Yeah, this year started off pretty crazy.
It is crazy. It's
a lot of things going on.
Trending topics everywhere.
Yeah.
Before we get started, though, tonight, please share, like, follow our podcast and everything on Rumble. We are now on YouTube. So please share everything. And thank you so much for everything that you're doing to help us along here.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
It's been so fun.
You wouldn't think it, but just liking, following us on all social media platforms and sharing our content, because I think we put out good content. You share, it helps us.
It does help us. So we appreciate everything that you do. But we got breaking news tonight. As we were coming on to record this, we got news that one of the presidential candidates has dropped out of the race. Chris Christie, this is from Colin Rugg. Chris Christie allegedly caught on hot mic talking about the Republican primaries, telling reporters that Nikki Haley is going to get smoked. He also claimed DeSantis called him on the phone and was petrified. Here, let's listen to him on this hot mic and see what he says. Then we'll move on from him.
Any harder, so
And let's not forget she spent $68 million.
yeah,
I mean, we spent like
Well, when you give land to China and places like that.
yeah, that's what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, she spent $68 million so far, just on TV. Spent $68 million so far, $59 million by DeSantis, and we spent 12. I mean, who's punching above their weight and who's getting a return on their investment, you know? And she's going to get smoked, and you and I both know it. She's not up to this.
she hasn't even been
And she's still 20 points behind Trump in New Hampshire, right?
Yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah.
And he's still going to carry Iowa, right?
Yes, always. I talked to DeSantis.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Petrified.
This is done on
that I would-
He's probably
purpose.
getting out after Iowa.
Well,
He said
People don't wanna
DeSantis called
hear
me
it, Wayne.
petrified,
They don't
like
wanna
he's
hear it.
important.
Well, and even at that, he mentions the amount of money each of them have spent on their campaigns.
And imagine all that
bunch of
money that could have
man.
gone to help President Trump in the primary.
Right.
You know what I mean? They wasted so much money on these rhinos. None of them were going to get anything.
He was bragging that he wasted less money than they did. Well, President Trump in President Trump fashion, after he heard about this, he had to come out and make his own statement. Here's what he
What'd he
said.
say?
He goes, this is funny. He goes, I hear Chris Christie is dropping out of the race today. I might even get to like him again. He says, anyway, he was just caught on a hot mic making a very truthful statement. Quote, she's going to get smoked. You and I both know it. She's not up to this. End quote.
That's funny.
Go President Trump.
Go President Trump. You know he was watching for that.
Yes, he was.
I find this awful funny, though, because was it yesterday or day before yesterday? Christie said he was not going to drop out. He made a point to say that.
Yeah.
Maybe did he have a town hall early? I haven't been paying attention to Christie.
Yeah,
You know, he does. So
Yeah, me neither.
So I don't have like the full information on that. Sorry about that, folks. But I do believe he said he was going to stay in and run. But anyway, sounds to me like he's going towards President Trump.
Probably.
After dogging him all this time. Anyway, that was breaking news, so we had to mention that. We're going to move on, and we're going to talk about the topic that is on everybody's tongue lately. Aaron Rodgers. He got suspended from ESPN. He appeared on the McAfee Show, and he ticked off a lot of people. And what we're going to do is let you listen to McAfee and what he thinks about this issue. Okay? You ready?
All right.
You got anything to say?
No, go ahead.
What a conversation.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
Now,
Per usual.
not like that.
Yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers Tuesday season 4 is done.
Yeah. Complete. Good season.
There's going to be a lot of people that are happy with that, myself included, to be honest. With the way it ended, it got real loud. And real loud. I'm happy that is not going to be my mentions going forward, which is great news. We're a conversation show. People are having conversations. We live in a country that has freedom of speech, but also you're going to have to deal with the consequences of your freedom of speech. So what I'm saying is we've given a lot of people who've been waiting for us to fail a lot of ammo and things to attack us for over the last week. And we would love to get back to the point where we just move on and continue to silence all the haters over here who can't negotiate as good as I can, all the people over here who can't create a show as good as us,
He's arrogant.
and all the people up here who are just going to always be here, and they're going to hustle and do their thing, which I respect.
You hear
But we
that,
need to
right?
do that.
Yes.
And that is our focus. That is our goal. And Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer. He's a 4-time MVP. He's a massive piece of the NFL story. Whenever you go back and tell it, he will be a huge part of it. We are very lucky to get a chance to chat with him and learn from him. Some of his thoughts and opinions, though, do piss off a lot of people. And I'm pumped that is no longer going to be every single Wednesday of my life, which it has been for the last few weeks. On Friday, obviously, I threw us into the fire as well. Forever stand by that. Everything else, though, just can't do that and not what we want to be known for. And I'm also pumped that I don't have to do these types of talks anymore. So with that being said, sports are alive right now.
Sports are alive right now, he says.
Did you hear how he tried to take credit? Post Millennial put out a good article and even quoted a lot of that video right there. And what this references all back to is that earlier in January made the comment that how did he say it? He said that Jimmy Kimmel was hoping that list wouldn't come out, talking about the Epstein Island and the Epstein client list. And so
Yeah, he was mocking Jimmy Kimmel, ESPN said.
Right. He was. Exactly, but not for the reasons that I think other people are calling it, though. But here's from the Post Millennial article. It says, earlier in January, late-night TV host Jimmy Kimmel threatened to take legal action against Rodgers after the Jets player suggested on the show that Kimmel might have ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Kimmel said that Rodgers' reckoning words have endangered his family. He warned Rodgers to cease such statements, emphasizing the further discussions on the matter might unfold in a court of law. And this was his statement. Dear asshole, for the record, I have not met, flown with, invited, or had any contact whatsoever with Epstein, nor will you find my name on any list other than the clearly phony nonsense that soft-brained wackos like yourself can't seem to distinguish from reality. Your reckless words have put my family in danger. Keep it up and we will debate the facts further in court. And this is what Kimmel posted on X. And Post Millennial goes on to say that during the ESPN interview, Rodgers implied that Kimmel was among the individuals who frequented Epstein's infamous private island, allegedly taking advantage of the underage girls trafficked by Epstein and Maxwell. That was not what he implied at all.
No.
I mean, if you really sit back and look at what he said, that was not what was implied at all. But there was some takes I had from the McAfee thing too, from his statements. Like I said before, he comes in here and he tries to say this like he has total control, like he called those shots. You know, it's interesting that he does that, and he even makes the claim that, you know, we've had him in here every Wednesday, you know, for 3 or 4 weeks. Well, dude, if you don't want him on your show, why did you have him on your show?
Yeah, what's he doing there? And if he's causing all this drama, why did you wait until it got heated? You were there wanting good ratings, I guess you call them in the podcast world. ESPN has ratings.
ESPN, yeah, sure he would. Sure he's wanting the ratings. And he's being backed by ESPN. That's kind of my point with that, I guess, is, you know, dude, if this is your show, then why didn't you kick him off your show? Yeah. Truth is, you didn't kick him off of nothing because...
That's exactly right.
You know, and
the gatekeepers.
The gatekeepers is talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of the gatekeepers thing. You know, ESPN's got they got the final word on that.
They do.
You
know, and so they went out of their way to fire. I mean, to suspend him. I mean, why?
And you know how fickle the media is, depending on the popularity of what Rodgers would have said. When Pat McAfee comes out and talks about it and says something in a negative light, does he realize that at that point ESPN would shift on him, kick him out the door, and Aaron Rodgers would have his show?
Yes.
I just don't understand where he thinks he's taking the high road in this,
Because they get to a point and they get big enough that the money means more than the truth.
Well, sure it does.
And speaking the way Aaron Rodgers speaks, he's just blunt and honest and as true as he can be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He hasn't said anything false. No one has disproved anything that he said.
Yeah.
They're just like, well, let's just get rid of him because he might have a point.
Yeah. Or an opinion that's different than the company narrative or the media
He
narrative.
might be right on point.
Mhm.
Something might be going on. I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked at the Epstein files. Jimmy Kimmel, you don't hear him making fun or putting it in any of his comedy.
No.
And so it's obviously a big topic or one that he doesn't want to discuss.
Yeah. See,
so why? Why is it?
Yeah, and that's exactly
That
kind of, I picked up on this, right there in the video. Like I say, him, Pat McAfee talking about kind of making it sound like he had the control in all of these decisions. And it's kind of the same with Kimmel. Kimmel can say what he wants, but Kimmel don't have the control in that either. And maybe these ties that Rodgers would be talking about would be, hey, it's going to be an NBC executive or somebody else that's responsible that's responsible for putting him on the air and his show on the air.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because then again, too, it's the same with him as it would be with McAfee. The moment that Kimmel says something out of line, depending on his ratings, they'll push him right out the door and move somebody right back in front of him.
Because if Kimmel didn't come out and say something to Rodgers, then his job was probably in jeopardy.
Sure. And these are the conversations that we're hearing out here.
Mm-hmm.
And I do see those, but here's kind of the point that you brought this up, and I do agree with you, is I think what Aaron said maybe he meant by this, and this is just me talking, I think maybe what he meant by that was when he said that, well, Kimmel was hoping that the list didn't come out. He said that. He was hoping that the list didn't come out. Why not? Think about this. With all of these people that are in entertainment and powerful people that Kimmel works for, if they're somehow tied to this island, now when he comes out to do his monologues and his jokes and he wants to crack Epstein Island jokes, is he going to be able to crack these Epstein Island jokes and name these people?
No.
No.
He will not say Clinton's name not one time.
Well, Clinton's an easy target. I think
still,
Clinton is a distraction.
That is an easy target, and I get all that. But have you heard him cracking jokes about Bill Clinton being on the island?
Yeah, but others are, and that's kind of where I keep seeing and watching things go on. I believe Clinton is a distraction because everybody keeps saying he did it. I know that, but he's not the important part. Yeah, he's not the important one.
Because everyone knows about him already.
So maybe that's what Aaron meant by that was Jimmy's hoping that the list don't come out because when it's going to kill his material now. He ain't going to have no jokes to tell.
That was what he was saying.
That's exactly what I believe he was saying.
I mean, hey, you don't have nothing to say now because the Epstein files come out and you can't say anything because gatekeepers are telling you no.
Right. And then
that's what's happened.
Right.
What he's talking about.
And then Jimmy turns around, comes out, and plays the victim. I think Jimmy knew exactly what he meant by that. Yeah, you're hoping the list don't come out because you ain't got no more material.
That's exactly right. That's funny too because all they do is trash President Trump. That's all the content they can come up with.
Yep, that's true.
All.
Yeah,
that's how horrible they are. The mainstream media and all of media. Period. They have done everything they can to try to find something in those Epstein files on President Trump. But they won't go after the people that need to be gone after.
Right.
And Jimmy Kimmel is hiding something.
You think?
And I think Aaron Rodgers knows it. Why would he continue? This ain't the first time he's picked on Jimmy Kimmel about this.
Yeah.
So I think Aaron Rodgers knows something.
We'll see.
Is this thing working? Rise up.